This is TWiT.
How we can talk about Substack.
Oh, yeah. You wanted to talk about Substack. So Substack is the hot thing right now. It is a newsletter platform, I guess. Yes?
Yep.
Do you have a Substack?
No, I don't.
I have a Substack, but I only made one just because I thought I should know about it. Yeah.
Yes.
I was just looking at it. But some people subscribe to it, which makes me laugh because there's no content on it. But it's interesting.
No, people subscribe to individual things. So Ben Smith in the New York Times did a puff piece on, I'm forgetting her name suddenly, Heather Robinson.
Oh,
Richardson.
she's the hottest. Yeah, I saw that puff piece. Yeah.
And so she is pulling in, Ben said, $1 million a year.
No.
Yeah.
And he says the secret to her success is what? People just want facts.
Yeah, well, she does it. I read it. It's fine. It's good. It's a summary of the news, but it has a slightly historical view. It's fine, but it's $5, and she gets enough people.
$5 a month. And how much does Substack take of that $5?
10%. Now, in some cases, Matt Iglesias left Vox to go to Substack, and they gave him an advance of a reported $250,000. So he has to earn back that advance before he starts making money. She chose not to take an advance. Others did not. But it's where the people are going. So I was just talking today with some of my colleagues at the school and saying, I wonder if you're a publisher of a major publication and you have star names on the Washington Post, New York Times, Time Magazine, wherever, and they see this $1 million, what do you do? Are they all going to leave you and try to do this? Of course, what's going to happen is there's going to be too many newsletters on
and then
Earth,
it'll be the same, yeah. So she's a professor of history, right, at Boston University? Or
Boston College.
Boston College. Heather, Heather, I mean, I'm sorry, Hilaria, you publish a newsletter, but do you use a platform for that, or? Oh, she's muted. Is that us?
Nope, it's me. Sorry.
Okay. Yep.
I'm in the midst of switching platforms, but
would you consider?
I use MailChimp.
MailChimp.
I've considered Substack. I actually met with Hamish. Yeah.
Hamish McKenzie.
Yeah, and he made the case that I probably could make as much as I do now without doing quite as much work, which just kind of was like, of course, that's what I want to hear. But I have a hard time. I still toy with the idea, but I just I don't believe anyone would pay for my stuff.
Because your newsletter is free right now. Yeah.
Well, it's free, but it's also the other thing that is different about my model is my people are more, they're an audience that you want to reach that cannot be reached easily. They're a niche audience. And so people will pay a lot more to reach them. So I can
Ben
make
Evans'
a decent,
model,
like I said. Yeah.
I love Ben Evans. He sends out the paid one on Sunday night with an extra piece that he writes just for subscribers. And then he sends out a free version without those bonuses on Tuesday.
Tell you, it beats writing a book. You make more money than writing a book. If you're going to write, figure out a way to make money at it, right?
I could do Gutenberg every single
And
week.
I will say, when I was at Fortune, they paid me very well. Like I was well remunerated. Probably not like fancy person well remunerated, but it was fine for me.
You could afford fingers on your gloves when you worked there, but now you can't.
Yeah, when I worked there.
The video doesn't see that.
But I turned off the heat, so now I need my little warming things. What was I going to say? Oh, but when I left, I actually made more. And this was something I argued with Fortune when I was trying to get them to do the podcast, and they wouldn't. I was like, I made more on the podcast than I made from them. So, I was like, dude, all of that could have been gravy, and you could have charged even more because you're Fortune. Anyway,
Yep.
So I would be terrified if I were a publisher that has a name, because your stars are going to go there, find their audience, do well, and then wander off to a Substack.
I
That would be
often
my
And
journalism
Helen
strategy.
Peterson,
I often-
Iglesias, Andrew Sullivan, they've all gone there.
I often wonder why our hosts don't use this platform as a launching point for a newsletter, because you know
we love you.
no, but I wouldn't stop you. You
Because
could
we're
do
lazy
that. Yes,
SOBs.
that's why I don't do it. But because you'd have this opportunity every week to promote your newsletter, and you know the whole trick is generating. She must have 20,000 subscribers, paying $5 a month, $100,000 a month, in order to make that $1 million a year.
Which isn't a lot of people.
That's actually not a lot of people.
No.
You'd certainly, you know, it's probably a tenth of the number of people you'd reach every month on the podcast. So if you could get 1 in 10 to subscribe, you could make $1 million additional a
And
month.
actually, I think all she charges for is access to her comments. I think the newsletter is free.
Oh, interesting.
Isn't that?
It is a lot
Meanwhile,
of
you
work.
have.
And I also
It
still,
is.
I often wonder, do really people want more email? Because I know I don't.
You'd be surprised.
Everybody always says
couple-
newsletters are so good, so powerful.
I
so-
don't.
I think maybe people subscribe and then they end up in the bin and they don't read them.
I think they.
There's some
so-
newsletters that I subscribe to and I open.
You read them every
single time.
High open rate. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Even the
So how many-
And
how many-
You don't have to
newsletter
send
and
it
I
every
work
day.
Right. No, weekly would be enough, right?
Yep.
How many do you say you do that with Ant? How many are you loyal to?
I'm thinking at least 6 or 7 that I go through each week.
You know, I'm maybe 2 or 3.
I have about
Stacey,
4.
Leo.
0.
And it's funny because I know that it's the auto-generated MailChimp, yada, 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 but it still usually has interesting information or something useful for me in there, and it warrants me clicking and actually opening that email.
Wait,
up.
those aren't people? Those aren't like newsletters like people give you? These are like random like company newsletters?
No, it's people, but I know they're using MailChimp, and even though you open it up and it says, "Hi, Ant," blah, 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 blah,
Oh,
blah,
I
blah.
see. You don't take it as personal.
MailChimp,
Yeah.
right. MailChimp tries to personalize it and says,
Yeah.
"Hey."
Oh, I don't expect it to be
So
personal.
you
I
actually
read the New
choose those-
Yorker. I don't expect them to say, "Hey, Leo, here's your new article."
You can choose not to personalize it. I mean, like that is a choice. Like
Oh,
I always
interesting.
forget to personalize it, but like my husband
Yeah.
goes in behind me and is like, first name, click.
Yeah. I feel like
So
there's
one of my
way too much
graduates-
content. So much content.
Yes,
And I would
yes.
love to consume more content. There's a full issue of the New Yorker that's just about COVID-19 that I'm trying to read. But that gets placed on the back burner with
It's a pile of guilt.
It's a pile of guilt. There's so much content, and then there's the podcasts, and I worry that we're making so much content that you can make money if you hit the right new thing, Substack now. Next year, I don't know what the next big thing will be, but it's got to be a moving target. And there's such a it feel like there's a glut, which
But
is
this
going
goes
to
back to
reduce the
lifestyle
value.
business. Can you get enough people to let you do what you love doing, and you do that by serving somebody well and bringing them value?
God, I hope so. That's
of my
what we try to
students-
do.
Yeah.
It's what you do. You did that. One of my students, Matt Keyser, started something called "What the F Spelled Out Just Happened Today." That's the full URL, and he does a newsletter, and he went on to Patreon, and he got enough money, and he makes it. Pete Dominic was he's a comic, and he was on Sirius, and then he left Sirius, and now he has a podcast, and he goes on Patreon, and enough people give him.
We
his
hear
money.
all these
Not as good as
stories,
it was.
but then I want
But he doesn't.
follow-ups because a year from now and 2 years from now, are they still
Don't
making
know.
it?
Don't know.
And
well, Matt, because this was a Trump thing, right? He started kind of by accident. He was
Yeah.
tweeting, and it came out.
well, a lot of
He's making
people
over
made
six
money on
figures.
Trump for sure.
But I thought he was going to have to give it up. He said, no, people, his readers tell him, no, keep going.
Well, they tell him now.
It's the adjustment.
Yeah,
We'll see.
I think it hurts us. I mean, when we started 15 years ago, there weren't a lot of podcasts, and we were very successful for a long time because there wasn't any competition. But there is now so much competition. There's more than 100,000 new podcasts every week. That
Everybody can do
and then
one.
it's not just competition, by the way, for listenership. because I feel like our listenership is pretty solid. It doesn't go down much, doesn't
God
go
bless
up
you
much.
all, everyone.
Thank you, all of you. People, and they're in the habit of it. But you're also competing for ad dollars, and that's gotten much more brutal over the years. And I just feel like it's going to be harder and harder because pretty soon everybody's going to have a podcast or a newsletter.
This is the too much content problem.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's where we are. Is we had a scarcity based model where you had a publication and it had a beginning and an end, and you filled it. Right. This is the Gutenberg parenthesis. Right. And that's what you did. Well, now we're still trying to fill the internet. I can't go to bed, dear. There's still an empty spot on the internet. Right. And so I think that we haven't figured out how to get down to value.
Wasn't Medium the
Guardian,
Substack
Telegraph
of 3 years ago? And I go to Medium now. It's link bait city. It's terrible. I'm sorry, Jeff.
And they don't even have advertising.
Yeah. They make money from harassing you till you sign up.
Right.
Well,
$5 a month.
Clickbait. I mean, sign up, read this particular article.
In a sense, so
no,
does the New York
I'm
Times
looking
now.
Here's the stories that I'm looking at right now on my front page. I'm going to tell you the biggest secret about competing on ... You probably suspected it all along. There are two types of genius, and one doesn't reveal itself till middle age. The red slime lawsuit that
Inc. magazine.
Yeah, this
New
is
York Times.
Yeah. We hired a guy off Craigslist. I stopped reading it because the value went way down.
So this is interesting. Substack does not promote things. Now, so when you go to Medium, part of the argument is, and I post on Medium and my blog both, I get some social bump from it. People might discover it. Substack doesn't do that, which is interesting. I'm not sure.
No,
whether
they
that's
leave it
right
to
or
you.
wrong.
That's your job.
Yeah, they do. But should they add value in that way?
No.
I don't know. They have a leaderboard, but that's kind of mass thinking.
I never thought nudity was a big deal. Then my hotel room door opened.
Oh, Jesus.
How I burn fat and build muscle without going to the gym. 6 habits of profoundly lonely people. I mean, I'm just... is this just me? Maybe it's because of what I've read in the past. I've ruined my Medium.
In a world run by
I think
algorithms,
that's just what
weirdness
people
is our best weapon.
respond to. I think that's just
Why
what
am I
people
getting
Rush
the
Hobbs
article,
is
the
not
first signs of alcoholic liver damage are not in the liver? Why am I getting that?
Leo,
I do
let
want
me
to
give you
know where
mine. Mine's
the
much better.
first signs of alcoholic liver damage are. I'm not going to lie. I'm intrigued.
All right, let me click on that. What do you? Tell me what you're getting, Jeff. So maybe
my
is it
number one
watching
is-
what I read and then giving me more?
Yeah, and I also follow some. So it gives
I
me
don't
some-
like
So Doug
algorithms.
Rushkoff, who we love, who we disagree with, but we love. In a world run by algorithms, weirdness is our best weapon. Then we have John Maeda, formerly head of the Rochester School of Design.
So these are people you
Rhode
follow.
Island. Rhode Island.
That's the
Peter,
difference.
No, not all of them.
Okay.
Peter Diamandis, AI and Shopping, the New Retail Era. I don't follow him. There's Spanish there. They don't know me that well. 10, which is one of their publications. Ex-Googler Meredith Whitaker on political power and tech and the flaws of something. It goes off.
Meanwhile,
the
first signs of alcoholic
just
liver
like my
damage.
Facebook is good because I care and I give it a little bit of attention and good things happen if you just give it a chance, Leo.
Stacey, the subtitle on this subhead: Not enough alcoholics are educated about this.
I'm certainly not.
Okay, so
And they don't want to be either. That's the point.
Digestive, cognitive, neuromuscular, and vascular. I'll just leave the rest.
That's a lot of other things. Good Lord.
I open Medium probably once or twice a quarter, if that.
Well, I'm always looking for
looking
news.
at this.
I'm always looking for news sources. So last year, Medium turned out to be a useful source of news for us. So I added it to my beat check. And the reason this comes up is about 2 months ago, I took it off my beat check because it was such a wasteland. So
I mainly go there and through links.
Oh well,
I'm in here now, and I see people that I adore. I see Vera Tunde, I see Roberta Blake, Erica Baker Joy.
That's
when I
because
scroll
Medium
through
thinks you're black.
I wonder why. But then I scroll through and all of the different
Medium
articles
thinks
here on
I'm
this
some
front page are
cheeseball.
just a bunch of listicles. You know?
Yeah, it's too
And-
many listicles. I don't like it.
And I'm like, I don't read any
Honestly,
of this
it looks
stuff.
like-
What would make it suggested to me?
Yeah. Well,
Oh,
I have an idea.
I was going to say, Leo, I think Medium thinks you're a, I don't know,
64-year-old
40 or 50-year-old woman.
Yep. Nailed it.
But you know what? You know what Substack's
I
doing?
can't-
It's gonna
I can't tell
endear
you.
them?
What's Substack doing?
Oh,
Substack's doing is going to endear them to a lot of people.
They have an RSS reader.
They're building an RSS reader.
Yay.